Business communication is always delicate or sensitive. That just means that we must sense how the people we communicate with will feel about our communication. In this lesson, we will move up the ladder to what we might call delicate communication. Here's a business file which illustrates our overall goals in business communication. The goals of business communication: to be clear, to be polite, to be efficient. Of course, the goals remain the same when our business communication deals with delicate communication. Now let me show you a practice which allows us to explore some situations in the realm of sensitive communication. First, we will define a delicate situation. Second, we will communicate the related problem in a business environment. Imagine that you must tell a coworker, a supervisor, even a client about a vexing problem in a sensitive situation. Vexing means annoying or irritating. That person will react to you according to how you present the information, how you present the problem, and the possible options. Here's an example. You have a terrible headache. You need to finish printing a document. You might say, I'm in a bit of a bind. I have a terrible headache, but I need to finish printing this document. Can you help me? That's informal, good for a friend or coworker. Or you might say, this is a bit of an embarrassment, but I wonder if you would be kind enough to help me. I have a terrible headache, but I need to finish printing this document. That's more formal, supervisor or coworker you're not acquainted with. Or here's another version. This is a bit of an embarrassment. I have a terrible headache, but I need to finish printing this document. I wonder if you would be kind enough to help me. Now this is a simple, even personal problem, but it occurs at the office, and so it affects you and others in a business situation. It's important to practice the language which will help you communicate in delicate circumstances. Here, in this business file, are a few expressions that will help you introduce some delicate communication situations. Delicate helpers. Look, I'll be frank. Here's the problem I'm facing. Can you help me? I'm in a bit of a bind. Can you help me? I've messed up, and I wonder if you can help me. I'm embarrassed to say that I've got a problem, and I would like to ask if you can help me with it. A sticky problem has arisen just recently, and I would really appreciate your help in solving it. This is a bit of an embarrassment, but I wonder if you would be kind enough to help me. This is a terrible embarrassment. I wonder if you might allow me or permit me. I beg your pardon for this difficulty, but I need some assistance with. Now note, these helpers increase in formality. Let's practice now. Tell your coworker exactly what your problem is and ask for assistance. You have a terrible headache and you need to finish printing a document. You. Well, you might have said, I'm in a bit of a bind. I have a terrible headache, but I need to finish printing this document. Can you help me? That's informal. Or another semi-formal response might have been, I'm embarrassed to say that I've got a problem and I would like to ask you if you can help me with it. I have a terrible headache, but I need to finish printing this document. Of course, your statements can vary, and you should compare them with my examples. Number 2, you are dying for a cup of coffee. The office phones need answering. You. Well, you might say, look, I'll be frank. I'm dying for a cup of coffee. Can you please deal with the phones for a few minutes? Or you might have said, listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm dying for a cup of coffee. Would you please answer the phone while I take a short break? Number 3, you have a handwritten memo. It should be laser printed. You. You might have said something like, I'm embarrassed to have to tell you this problem, but I'll be frank. I've written an important memo by hand, but I really need to print it on the laser printer. Can you help me, please? 4, your calendar is lost. Your client wants to schedule a meeting with you. You. You might have said, I beg your pardon for this difficulty, but I need some assistance with our schedule. You see, I've misplaced my calendar. Can you give me a couple of possible dates and I'll check with you as soon as I confirm my schedule? Number 5, you've long ago lost the sales memo. At lunch, your boss asks for your reaction to it. You. Well, you might say something like this. I'm embarrassed to say that I've got a problem. I've misplaced my copy of that memo. Would you ask your assistant to send me another copy? I could then send you a written reaction to it. Number 6, you're going to take your client to lunch. He or she is very picky and critical. You. You might say, I'm embarrassed to say that I have no idea of what kind of restaurant you might like. Please give me a suggestion or two. I would like to take you someplace you like. Number 7, you've done it again. Scheduled a client dinner meeting on one of your kids' birthdays. The client is confirming by phone. You. Well, you could say, this is a terrible embarrassment. I wonder if you might allow me to reschedule our dinner meeting. You see, our original date is my daughter's birthday, and I simply forgot. Number 8, you must phone a firm in the U.S. and speak in English. You just sense that your coworker is afraid you'll blow it. You. You could say something like this. I'm in a bit of a bind. Can you help me? Please tell me if you are uncomfortable with me making the call to the U.S. Would you rather make it yourself? Please be honest. Number 9, you have just discovered that your personal computer has a virus. You recently copied some files and distributed them to your supervisor. You. Well, you might say, a sticky problem has arisen just recently, and I would really appreciate your help in solving it. I'm worried that the files I copied for you may be infected with a virus. I found one on my PC. Number 10. You have misplaced your boss's itinerary for the April trip. She is now asking about a particular travel item. You. Well, you might say, this is a bit of an embarrassment. I've misplaced my copy of the itinerary. I wonder if I could get back to you with this information as quickly as I can. That's very good. Remember, delicate business situations require continuing